stop.
Reality Stone. Now.
I told you. I sold it.
I imagine it's like breathing for you.
It's like suicide.
So you do understand. Not even you would surrender something so precious.
I didn't know what it was.
Then you're more of a fool than I took you for.
It's him.
Last chance, charlatan. Where's the stone?
Today, he pays for the deaths of my wife and daughter. Wait. Wait. Whoa, not yet.
Engage all defenses and get this man a shield.
Hey everybody, as promised, this is going to be a video for everybody's new weapons and toys during Infinity War. Now we call them toys, but Marvel puts new stuff, new suits of armor and movies so that it can sell new toys. The trade-off being that you know that they're trying to bait you to buy their stuff, but it looks pretty cool. So even though there are a billion characters in Infinity War, mostly the main characters are getting upgrades, and Marvel has confirmed most of it, but there have been some rumors about the Thanos character and a couple of the others, so I'll try to explain what's rumor and what's actually been confirmed. And a lot of you are asking about Super Bowl trailers because Black Panther's right around the corner, Infinity War is coming up, and Marvel always drops a trailer, or Disney always drops a Marvel trailer during the Super Bowl. Like last year they did Guardians of the Galaxy, they did Captain America Civil War the year before that, so naturally Marvel will be dropping trailers. But here's the really important thing, remember, there's going to be a lot of comic book trailers because of all the movies coming this year like Deadpool, Venom, all the stuff later this year too, that will be dropping in the next 2 weeks, so not all of it will drop during the Super Bowl this weekend. But fun with weapons, starting with Captain America's shield. This is probably the biggest thing people were talking about this week because we knew he was getting a new shield. Black Panther literally says, "Get this man a new shield." Then they cut to a picture of Captain America during the Infinity War trailer. And if you couldn't tell, this is made to look like the classic version of the shield before he got the vibranium one. Remember when he was wearing that cloth suit, the very first version of the costume? He complained about that recently. I'll play that clip in a second because it's pretty funny. But when you see him running into battle here, you just see him with the Panther gauntlets on. So what I think is happening is because we know how Black Panther's vibranium suit works now, like it literally just forms out of some of this bling, that's probably how his shield forms. But once it's fully deployed, this is what it looks like. So obviously it's not colored to look like the classic Captain America colors, but again, he's the Nomad character, so he's not using that name, he's not espousing those colors at the moment. I think that'll change through the course of the film. But I think what's going on during the trailer is they just did not finish some of the CG before they posted the trailer. So there's like a bunch of other stuff going on in these scenes that they're gonna add later. They did that with the Black Panther movie too. They did it with all the Thor Ragnarok trailers. But when he's hitting this Outrider, he's probably hitting it with his shield, and we just can't see it because they haven't added the CG for that yet. But the Thanos weapon that everyone's been talking about is what they're calling the Infinity Sword. Now, there is no Infinity Sword from the comic book, which is why I'm kind of suspect about this, because they do make toys for movies based on things that don't actually appear in the movie. Best example of that was the Spider-Mobile that they sold for Spider-Man Homecoming, despite the fact that there was no Spider-Mobile in that movie. And the Audi that he stole from Flash totally does not count. But obviously, speaking of the Iron Spider costume, it probably has the arms. That's unconfirmed, still at the rumor stage, but you see the toy, so it's like, well, you know what? It's probably going to happen. They probably just omitted the CGI from this scene here. I've talked about it before, like there's too much dead space in this frame here for one of these movies. Typically, that gets filled with something that they add with CG later. It's probably the arms from his suit. We've all seen a whole bunch of Iron Man's model prime armor. It works a little bit like Black Panther's costume. Like it can actually just come out of a couple different pieces. But the biggest difference between Model Prime and the previous versions of his armors is that it can become any version of the armor that it needs to. So it could just be a normal version of the suit like we see him walking around in. It has extra pieces that stick out of the back that help with stabilizing when he's in low orbit or in outer space. It could also reconfigure itself into a Hulkbuster if it needed to. We of course have seen all the pictures of the new traditional Hulkbuster armor. They're just calling it Hulkbuster 2.0. Then there's the Pepper Potts rescue armor. There's actually a funny scene where Gwyneth Paltrow is doing an interview talking about wearing dots on herself, where she kind of confirms that she's going to be wearing a version of the armor.
When is the next Iron Man? And when will I see Pepper Potts back in the Marvel? Like, are you in the Avengers, the next Avengers?
Am I allowed to say?
I say you are.
Okay, I am. I'm in there, yes.
Do you still have powers? Do you still have powers? Can you still do the flame thing with your hand?
You know, to be totally honest, I'm unclear. Because it's so secretive and it's all on green screen and I'm not exactly sure and they don't let me say anything.
Is there any chance at any point when you were working on the movie, did you thrust your hand toward someone wearing like a blue suit with ping pong balls glued on it?
Yes.
Then you still have powers. It's
okay.
official.
But I think it'll wind up being a unique version that's tailored specifically for her. There are a couple characters that obviously don't need weapons, like the Hulk is a weapon, Captain Marvel is a weapon, so it's not like they walk around with giant guns because they are the gun. But Mark Ruffalo did post this funny picture of Hulk walking with a bag over his shoulder. Now in the caption, he wrote that this was his final scene that he filmed for Infinity War, so it doesn't mean that the Hulk is just going off into the distance, but the reason why people thought that might be the case is because this is very Bill Bixby Hulk TV show. During that show, he sort of hitchhiked his way across the United States trying to hide from the authorities, helping people along the way, having adventures. So it's just a very Incredible Hulk TV show type of moment. I've already done a couple videos about Thor's axe Yarbjorn, and whatever they call it during the movie, this is the Space Forge where he makes it. But the pictures that Marvel has posted are actually kind of ambiguous. It actually looks almost like it could be Ultimate Thor's hammer because it has the little piece on it, but it seems like it's going to be closer to Yarbjorn from the comics. The reason why the handle looks similar to Mjolnir's is because this is the same place where Mjolnir was forged. That's why Thor's going back there. Black Panther, pretty much the same because there isn't that much time between the end of Black Panther and the beginning of Infinity War. Obviously, all the city defenses, all the cool tech that they have in Wakanda, you'll see that during the Black Panther movie, so you have a pretty good idea of what they're capable of when we get to Infinity War. But I've already done a video explaining the Prelude comic where it talks about how Shuri helps reboot Winter Soldier's mind using some of their tech that's on par with the stuff that they use to create Ultron, so they have really advanced AI in Wakanda too. But they also confirmed that in addition to the new shield that she makes for Captain America, she also fashions a new arm for Winter Soldier. So the arm works pretty much the same way, only now it's that much stronger. But aside from Hawkeye's Ronin gear, Black Widow's blonde hair, Scarlet Witch and Vision don't really have new gear, but they are more powerful, they're more connected to the Infinity Gem. Her powers are based on it, so they just grow organically. Vision is literally connected to it, so he's learned more about it in the time that we haven't seen him. For the most part, the rest of the characters are the exact same as the last time you saw him. No huge upgrades, with the exception of teenage Groot. Call that an upgrade. But he's like 13, 14 years old, so you can see he's about this tall compared to the other characters. But just a reminder about the trailers coming this weekend. Disney only bought 2 spots, and that's for all of its different rails. So it has Marvel, Pixar, traditional Disney stuff. Black Panther is the most likely candidate. It's totally possible that there's an Infinity War promo, but remember that Disney has a bunch of other films like Wrinkle in Time. It also has Pixar's Incredibles 2, so don't be surprised if they don't drop Infinity War and they just do it later during the week, which is kind of what's happening with Deadpool 2 in the Venom trailer. Because instead of dropping Super Bowl trailers, they're just opting to attach their next promos to Black Panther's release, which is in about 2 weeks. So anything that you don't see this weekend will drop in the next 2 weeks, so no worries about that. Once Black Panther hits theaters, then they'll start spamming Infinity War footage. But there will be a new round of the Infinity Gauntlet giveaway. All you have to do to enter is just be a subscriber and share the video using the tools on the watch page. Click here for my non-spoilery Black Panther movie reaction, and click here to rewatch that Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.